Arun's present age in years is 40% of Barun's. In another few years, Arun's age will be half of Barun's. By what percentage will Barun's age increase during this period? Theta means type in the answer. Okay, you have not been given any options. Okay, so let's solve the question now. If you're conventionally doing it, okay, without any much brainstorming, okay, directly, methodically, writing out the like values, okay, just observing, writing percentage, getting the answer. That's how we do it. So Arun's present age in years is 40% of that of that of Barun's. Okay, so yeah, you can assume Barun's age to be, let's say, X, okay, or 100, whatever you like. So if you like to say, let's say Barun's age is X, okay, Arun's present age is 40% of Barun's. 40% of X will be 40 upon 100 into X. So Arun's present age is nothing but 0.4X. Okay, after some number of years, Arun's age will be half of Varun's age. So Varun's age. So let's say after a number of years, this is happening. So after a number of years, Arun's age will be 0.4x plus a. Varun's age will be x plus a. And we have been given this is half, right? Arun's age is half of Varun's. So when you cross multiply, you get 0.8x plus 2a is equal to x plus a. This gives you the value of a as 0.2x, right? So a is 0.2x. Matlab Barun ka initial age x tha. Okay, now it increased by 0.2x, right? So what is the percentage increase in Barun's age? It is 0.2x divided by x into 100. X cancel, it simply 20%. Or you can simply observe that 0.2x is nothing but 20% of x. So answer is 20%. Okay. Now there is a much quicker way to solve this question if you guys understand ratios. Okay, we'll see that now. So initial ratio and the final ratio we're supposed to find out for Arun and Barun. Okay. Initially, I'm assuming Barun's age to be 5 years. Suppose. Okay. Uska 40% kitna ho jayega? 2. That means the ratio of their ages currently is 2:5. Now, after some number of years, the ratio becomes 1:2, right? Because Arun's age is half of Barun's, right? Okay, if you observe carefully now, after some amount of time, the age should increase, right? Okay, but 1 or 2 is not an increase, right? So to make the value increased, we observe that we can multiply this ratio with 3. Okay, so now multiplying by 3, we observe that this ratio becomes 3:6. Now both of their ages increase by 1 point, right? Okay, so Barun's age increased by 1 out of the initial 5. The percentage is how much? 20%. It's as simple as that. Okay, the length and breadth of a rectangle increased by 20% and 30% respectively. Find the percentage change in the area. Okay, so let us consider a rectangle. Okay, I know we have not done geometry right now, but we won't require any higher any hi-fi or hyphen-do concept for geometry right now. We just require basic concept for the area of rectangle, that is length into breadth. Okay, so I draw a rectangle, very rough rectangle, roughest rectangle out there, having length L and breadth B. Okay, so initial area, I'll call it as A1, will be length into the breadth. Okay, which will be nothing but LB. Okay, now the length increases by 20% and the breadth increases by 30%. So length initially is L. Okay, 20% of the length is 20 upon 100 into L, or 1/5, whatever you like to call it. So the new length is L plus 1/5 of L, right? L plus 1/5 of L. Okay, or L plus 0.2 L. Okay, when you simplify this, you will always get 1.2 L. Okay, so yes, actually I want to make a point, guys, that whenever you say a value increases by 20%, okay, so basically it will become 1.2 times. Okay, whenever a value basically increases by a breadth के बारे में देखेंगे हम लोग, the breadth increases by 30%. So by the same logic, guys, the breadth will be B plus 0.3 of B, right, which is 1.3 B, right? So when a value increases by 30%, it is nothing but becoming 1.3 times. So whenever basically a value increases by, let's say, n%, okay, what is the new value? The new value is 1 plus n by 100 times. Okay, the value may reduce by 20%. तब क्या हो जाएगा? Okay, it will be, suppose, L minus 0.2 of L, which is 0.8 L, right? So if a value decreases by 20%, it will become 0.8 times. Okay, if a value decreases by 30%, it will become 0.7 times. Okay, I want this to be really very clear, because if you understand this much, your problem solving becomes really very easy. you can browse through the questions very, very quickly if you understand this. Okay, by solving it very quickly. Okay, so we have found the new length. The new length is 1.2 L, and we have also found the new breadth, which is 1.3 B. Okay, let's calculate the new area. I will call it as A2. Okay, A2 will be the new length, 1.2 L, multiplied by the new breadth, 1.3 B. Okay, when you multiply them, you will get 1.56 LB. Okay, but what was LB, guys? LB was equal to the initial area we found, A1, right? So basically A2 is nothing but 1.56 times A1, right? If A2 is becoming 1.56 times, just now we saw if a value increases by 20%, it becomes 1.2 times. If a value increases by 30%, it becomes 1.3 times. So if it is becoming 1.56 times, it is basically an increase of 56%. Or you may apply the formula for percentage change also. Percentage change is equal to final minus initial upon initial multiplied by 100. So 1.56 A1 minus A1 is 0.56 A1. Divide by A1 multiplied by 100 will give you the same answer, 56%. Let's go on to the next question now, guys. The next question says, two successive discounts of 20% and 25% are offered on a certain product. Find the overall percentage discount. Okay, the quickest way in which I can imagine this question is that I can assume the total value of the product to be, let's say, 100. Okay, successive discounts of 20% and 25%. We offered a 20% discount on 100, which is 20% of 100. 20% of 100 is 20 rupees. So the new price is how much? 80 rupees. Okay, now isi 80 rupees pe you are offering a discount of 25%, right? 25% is basically 1/4. 1/4 of 80 is how much? 20 rupees again. 20, 80 में से निकाल दिया, कितना बचा? 60. Right, so initial value was 100 and final value is 60. Okay, we can find the percentage change now. Okay, final minus initial upon initial into 100. 60 minus 100 is minus 40%. So what is the overall percentage discount? It's basically 40%. A's monthly expenditure on sugar every month, okay, redundant ho actually, is 5,500. However, rate of sugar increases by 20% in a particular month. By what percentage should A reduce the consumption so that the total expenditure remains the same? Okay. Now, the idea behind this question, first, let's understand that, guys. See, the total expenditure on sugar jo bhi hoga, it will depend on two things. Okay, the rate of sugar per kg, okay, into the consumption, right? Consumption in kgs, right? Okay, that is basically going to be your expenditure for the sugar for any particular commodity, be it sugar in this question, right? So rate multiplied by consumption. Now, guys, the whole idea here is, suppose rate and consumption, let's set it as R and C here. Okay, suppose if the rate gets doubled, okay, I can maintain the same expenditure by making the consumption half, isn't it? Okay, and suppose if the rate becomes tripled, you can make the consumption 1/3, right? Lockdown survival strategies. Okay, so basically whenever this value of rate becomes n times, okay, you can simply compensate by making the consumption divide by the same factor. Okay, inverse variation, right? Okay, rate increases, consumption should decrease by the same factor so that the product remains constant in this case because it's required, right? So the rate of sugar increases by 20% in this question. Okay, so the rate basically becomes 1.2 times, right? We saw 20% increase means 1.2. Okay, so to compensate, what we will do is we'll make the consumption divide by 1.2. Okay, when you do this, you get the new consumption. Okay, if the initial consumption is C, okay, then you get a new consumption C upon 1.2. 10 से multiply किया ऊपर नीचे, we have 10 by 12, 2 cancel. The new consumption is 5C by 6. Okay, initial consumption C था, अब हो गया 5C by 6. There is a gap of 1/6 of C. You have to reduce the consumption by 1/6. 1/6 will be nothing but 16.6 recur, 16.6%. Okay. Note that the value 5,500 is completely redundant in this question. You don't require it anywhere. Okay. Why? Because the percentage change has been asked, right? Not the value. So 5500 is not required. Okay. What best use you can make for this value is you can basically split this into the rate into the consumption. Okay. So like 55 multiplied by 100. This you can keep it as the consumption. and this you can keep it as the rate. Okay, rate becomes basically 120. The whole thing divided by 120, 5500 upon 120, 00 gone, 550 upon 12 ho jayega basically. So it will again come back to 16.66% increase. The thing. Okay, but I would prefer this as the much better approach to this question.